Mayfest is every year, the first weekend of May. We're going into our 40th year this year, and we are the first weekend every May. We start on Friday afternoon, usually about 4 o'clock, going into the night till 10:30, and then on Saturday we start at 8 a.m. with a pancake breakfast and the AUSA Armadillo Stampede, and go into Saturday night till about 10:30. The festival is a street festival that we have arts and crafts of all kinds, paintings, sculptures, cypress tables, you know, anything you can imagine, to, of course, your commercial vendors, which would be maybe Scentsy or Pampered Chef, things like that. And we usually have about 75 arts and crafts vendors. And then we have food vendors, which we usually have about 25, which are anywhere from our local churches to food trucks and all kinds of things.
We support Mayfest in a lot of different ways. Several years ago, we teamed up with the Rotary Club to create an event called Chock-a-Block, which was a kids' drawing area for kids to get and do sidewalk art on the streets. And Rotary has picked that up and run with it, and it's become one of the most interesting and favorite events of Mayfest. During Mayfest this year, we have our major group show where all of the artist members of our gallery will have new pieces in the exhibit, because Mayfest brings us the biggest crowd. We also work with tourism and use this facility as a reception place for artists during Mayfest on an as-need basis. So we really just open our doors to the community and invite everyone in to experience the art and the artists that are in the area.
Mayfest artists, we have the local artists usually in it. We have a few of the high-end crafters, and it's a good way for the community to come out and support the arts and see what the arts can do for the community. We try to do stuff in the gallery, outside the gallery. We have started like sidewalk art and stuff like that.
You know, Tony invited me to participate, that is, in a three-person show, three-person sculptural 3D show, and he approached me that sometime earlier this year, and I said, sure, why not? This art form is derived from the natives of this area. They used longleaf pine, which here's some of the longleaf pine that I collect, green, and then dry it, and also will dye it, to get some of the colors that I obtain that is with it. And basically what I use is the longleaf pine, and I stitch together with raffia, which is another plant product, that I buy it commercially. And, this is the natural color of the raffia, and again I will dye it different colors, and, to obtain a different variety of forms and patterns that is in the work. It is, I like to do some traditional items.
In my case, I'm a landscape architect, and I'm retired, and so this is an opportunity to do something else altogether. But I've had a thing for recycling and using stuff in a creative way that's around us, normal, everyday things. And for example, with this piece here, this is from the lake bottom in Anacoco Lake, nearby here in Leesville. And it's called the end of the line. And it's where the fishermen would tie their lines and then stretch them out across the lake to catch mostly catfish. And they would tie weights on them to hold them down. So when Fish and Wildlife took the water away, drained the lake, these were just left out there. And so it had been abandoned. But they are symbolic, in a way, of man's recreation, and it's kind of social comment in a sense, because look what they did, and this is a beautiful old double pine knot. Very unusual to see a large heart pine piece with a double limb arrangement, and it was enormous at one time. It was in the lake for over 50 years, because that's when the lake was built, some 50, 60 years ago. So it has a lot of character, and it's enduring this onslaught of fishermen, you know, and time and the actions of the water, and there's a lot of stories, you know, in these common objects. I mean, that, for example, is a battery. That's the leftover of a battery. And the guy, his battery went bad in the boat or something. So he said, well, I can use it as a weight. He tied it on, threw it over in the lake.
I would say this is a family-friendly event, absolutely, and a complete community event. We have our schools help us, our local churches help us, the Lions Club, the Association of the United States Army. It's really a group event to put it on every year. We have a great Main Street area, and really everybody in our community participates. It's, you know, music, food, and it's completely free. You can come out for 2 days and just enjoy your weekend and not spend a penny if you want to. So we really like to have people come out and enjoy it with us.
Do you have a website where they can get more info?
We do. Our website is www.venturevernon.com.